Hi everybody, so nice to see you again. Yeah, I mean, not literally see you, but I'm glad you could see me. Supposed to teach you persuasive oral presentation, so here I am. I'm in my office and going to class would be just would take a lot of my energy for now. And I hope you'll be able to bear with me over the next few weeks so that we can finish off everything that I'm supposed to be going through with you for PCS and also for your assessments, okay? So today I will be giving you a short lecture on persuasive oral presentation. So here are the learning outcomes. By the end of this chapter, you should be able to differentiate the types of persuasive presentations, identify elements in ethical persuasion, utilize persuasive strategies in persuasive oral presentations, organize a persuasive oral presentation, identify the scopes of a proposal. Yeah, you need to come up with a proposal, which is actually your persuasive presentation. And then practice and present a persuasive oral presentation. That's quite a lot of things. So before I begin, let me just remind you that before we did persuasive, before doing persuasive, all of you were doing informative oral presentation. So basically for informative presentation, you provide information. What you did were you described something, you gave definition, you analyzed, you provide maybe some instructions, and of course lots of synthesis. However, with persuasive presentation, it will actually emphasize on your opinion or what you feel or your beliefs about a certain thing, certain topic. So you are required to persuade or convince the audience through some form of argument. It's not as in argument in altercation, but more coming up with your case. Yeah, what can you say to make your claim sound valid? Okay, you ready? And before you start thinking about coming up with a persuasive presentation, you need to consider these things carefully, because you do not want to be an unethical person who persuade people just because he or she can be manipulated. He or she is very vulnerable, or you cannot force them. So here are some of the things that you should remember when you are doing the practical presentation. The recipient of the message, that means your audience, feel that it's okay for them to agree or disagree. Yeah, that means you are not going to force them. They feel free to make a choice. Like imagine if you are in a shopping mall and you are looking for a pair of jeans, and you set your eyes or your heart on a particular type of jeans, but here comes the sales assistant who tells you that, oh, you shouldn't go for that particular pair of jeans, that particular cutting, because like right now the in thing is the slim fit, for instance. Yeah, the in thing is the slim fit cut jeans. So the sales assistant will tell you all kinds of negative things about the cutting that you like, and saying that it is backdated, that it will not make you look good, or it will make you look really, really awful, or things like that. So when you are faced with somebody who tells you such negative things about a product that you like, you tend to feel like, you're caught up, and you feel that you're cornered, and more so you are most likely to pick the one that she is encouraging you to take. Yeah, so it's not a decision that you made on your own, but it's more like somebody forcing you. Okay, so you do not like that, right? So don't do that to others. Next is the speaker. That means you would be comfortable as a recipient and not just as a sender. It is actually echoing what I mentioned earlier. It's like you do not want people to do those things to you, so don't do it to them. Okay, you've heard of the saying, do unto others what you want others to do unto you, or don't do unto others what you don't want others to do unto you. Okay, next, a voluntary decision is possible on the part of the audience. That means they can say no. That's basically what it means. All right, so this particular slide tells you that the audience or the recipients are not forced into doing something, but they are given the option to say yes or to agree with what you're trying to persuade them to believe. So here are different types of persuasive oral presentations. Have motivational speeches, goodwill speeches, proposal presentations, and sales presentations. Motivational speeches and goodwill speeches are considered as persuasive oral presentations, but you will not be required to come up with these types of speeches. You can read up on these two types of speeches from the textbook. Alternatively, you can Google them up. Okay, so what I'm going to share with you is on proposal presentation, something more challenging, something more apt for students of UTP. So, all right, sorry about the intermission. Yeah, so anyway, these are the possible scopes for proposals. Yeah, proposal for physical change, that means it's something that you can see. Yes, can see and touch. So physical change, maybe to come up with like a bus stop, or well, lifts. Yeah, lifts in the at the hostel for some reason. Yeah, those are physical change where you can see. Then there is proposal for non-physical change, something that you can't see. For instance, service. Okay, improved services, for instance, at certain departments, or finance department. Yeah, so those kind of things. Yeah. So do you understand the difference between physical and non-physical change? Okay, if you do, then that's fantastic. We'll move on to the other two. Yeah. First is proposal that leads to sales. That means you are encouraging somebody to actually buy something. Okay, when you want to do that, when you want to propose to people to buy something, you are like a salesperson. Okay, you want to sell them a particular product or a particular service that you believe in, and you know that this particular product or this particular service is something that the audience really need. They might not need it, but what you can do is to tell them that they do. And you need to inform them, or make them realize, not inform them, you make them realize that life will be so much better if they were to have that particular item or product that you are selling. Okay? It could, okay, when you talk about selling, it could be people who are in your office. For instance, if you want a particular, if you want what do you call it, a particular, if you want to buy a particular equipment, yeah, and normally you can't just say, hey, I need to buy this particular equipment, it's like 8,000 ringgit and I want it like next week. Normally what you need to do is to come up with a proposal to tell your bosses, especially the people in the finance, yeah, and all the relevant bosses, as to justify why they need to fork out 8,000 ringgit for the equipment that you want. You know what I mean? So there's a proposal that leads to a sale or something, although you are not selling something, but you're actually selling your idea. You know what I mean? And there's exchange of money at the end of the day. So there needs to be a price tag. Next is promoting a genuine business. If you have actually sold something before, maybe you sold something online, or maybe you have not even online, it could be, you know, door to door, and this thing you feel that it's really good, yeah, it could be maybe food, it could be clothing, it could be anything. It could go into this category of promoting a genuine business. So for the scope that you should be looking out for, yeah, could fall into any of these categories, yeah, possible scopes for proposal. I hope you understand that. Okay, so I will continue the rest of the lecture in the next slide. See you soon.